Bitcoin just had a massive pump. It is trading almost at $71,000. So literally overnight, it had this massive pump. It blasted through the $69,000 resistance. So this is looking very, very promising for the bulls, guys. We're not completely out of the woods. I do want to see a monthly close above $69,000. But this is looking very, very promising for the bullish case. If this can hold, then altcoins are probably going to have a massive, massive run in the coming weeks and months. So in this video, I want to update you with my thoughts on the charts and what I am expecting next. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, make sure that you follow my page on Instagram, and I'd always appreciate it if you smash the like button, leave a comment down below. It gets this out to more people so that hopefully more people can benefit from this analysis that I share here on the channel. Alright, so let's start out with this. Last week, I made a video that I put here out on the channel when Bitcoin was still trading at 61,800, and the title for that was Get Ready for a Big Move on Bitcoin Soon. And basically that video, if you haven't watched it yet, it's on the channel. I'll link to it down below. Go and watch that if you haven't seen it yet. I was basically saying as long as we're above the 3-day 50 moving average, the price is bullish and I expect higher. And I even broke down a pattern that could lead us to potentially $80,000, and so far that is exactly what is playing out. So let me play a quick segment of this video and then we continue from there. Alright, so you can see here Bitcoin is trading at $61,800, and the very simple thing to start with is the 3-day chart. This 50 simple moving average here in blue on the 3-day chart, that is what I'm watching for a confirmation of a bearish or bullish trend. As long as the price is above this 3-day 50 moving average, I'm still bullish. Then what I also broke down in that video is the inverse fractal correlation. So what I basically did is I took this section over here, inverted it, and I broke this down in the video. You can see here. So this, remember here, this red bar that I copied over here, it is the inverse of this. And the reason why is price can only do so much. It can go up, down, or sideways. So what you often see is repetitions of patterns within patterns, fractals they're called. And you see a lot of similarities between previous price action, and we can play around with that a little bit, again, just for fun. But look how similar this is. A big run up, a high, a lower high, a sweep of the lows, and then a big move to the upside. That's exactly what we're seeing over here so far in the price action. We had a big run up, a high, drop, lower high, a sweep of the lows, and now the question is going to be, do we get this run up? So that is what I broke down in last week's video, and that video was perfectly timed because from that moment onwards, when we're trading at just under 62,000, we've basically rocketed higher, and we are now already above 71,000, slightly below now, but it already hit 71,000. So this is that exact same chart that I broke down last time. This red bar is the inverse here of this price action of the bear market, and you can see that is exactly what is happening, right? We had this run up, this similar price action, a high, a drop, a lower high, sweep of the lows, and now it's following this exact action so far. You can see perfectly how it is basically mimicking this. And if this continues to play out, then we're looking for continuation higher, new all-time highs, and however high that goes, I mean, based on this fractal, it might be just over 80,000. But of course, that could continue a little bit higher too. So far, this seems to be playing out, and that is really, really good for the bullish case, especially if we can now start to close above 69,000 with a weekly close, and more importantly, the monthly close that is coming up. So if we change this here to the monthly, this is going to be very, very key, because last month in April, we had this red month that was looking potentially kind of bearish. If this would have seen follow through and closes in the red also, then it starts to potentially put the bullish trend into question. But if this month closes here above 69,000 or even higher is better, you can see what it's looking like already. If it closes here, it basically just completely reversed the bearish candle, and it sets us up for potentially continuation to $100,000 or more. But again, the key is if it is only May 21st, right now as I'm recording this, so we still have 10 days left. A lot can happen in 10 days, but it is looking very, very promising. So just zooming into the daily chart over here, you can see this is still a range here where we had, let me get the arrow, I think that's a bit better. Where's the arrow? Arrow. Okay, so we had this high over here to this wick low that created this range that we traded in for almost 2 months and chopped up a lot of people. We've got some wicks below it over here, but we got the proper sweep here with full daily closes below, reclaimed it, retouched the range low, and from there it was off to the races. Now you can see we have already taken out these various highs where people have shorts, right? A lot of people shorting this all the way into the range lows, and the trend is still bullish. Like I said, as long as we're above the 3-day 50 moving average, the high time frame trend is bullish, and we expect higher until we lose that 3-day 50 moving average. So taking out these highs, taking out this inefficiency, this fair value gap, we obviously still have some highs over here, and ultimately the all-time high now, which is just close to about 74,000. So I would expect us to hit at least that 74,000. I mean, short term it can chop around. Sure, it can pull back $1,000 or $2,000 and then continue higher. But I do think this is bullish. And like I said, if we get that weekly and the monthly close above 69,000, I do think that sets us up for potentially the next leg up. And maybe we do hit $100,000 Bitcoin in 2024. So far this is looking bullish, and I would expect higher continuation here. Let's see what the monthly candle closes like, because if Bitcoin continues to hold here or continue higher, Ethereum obviously also had a massive pump. This was something that I was talking about already for quite a while. I actually shared this trade setup in my VIP group. Same kind of range setup as we had with Bitcoin. So we had this high over here, range low, swept the low, spent some time below it, and then once we reclaimed the range here, you can see it took out all these highs over here. That's all the liquidity. Everyone who was shorting it, who had their stops at various points here, they all got wrecked in this one single massive candle to the upside. And the target is obviously going back to the range high, which is just over $4,000. But I do suspect if this all holds and Bitcoin is bullish, like I said, that Ethereum is going next for the all-time high, which is about 5,000. So obviously it has to go through 4,000 first, the range high of this technical smaller setup. But I believe $5,000 is very realistic if Bitcoin holds. If the monthly close is bullish, I expect us to see $5,000 Ethereum or maybe higher in 2024. And obviously, guys, if Bitcoin is going higher and maybe to 100,000, if Ethereum is going to $5,000 or more, we can expect still a massive pump in altcoins that got really hammered over the past 2 months during this correction where they sold off 50-60% or more. We can expect potential 5 or 10x's, probably a lot more on some meme coins or shit coins. So the potential right now is completely back here for the bulls, for the upside case. And it is worth paying attention if you are not yet doing so. I think this basically confirms the bull is still on, and we might be seeing a repeat of the 2017 cycle, which means in 2017, the Bitcoin price or the whole crypto market, it basically ran up throughout the year. So unlike in 2020 and 2021, where it peaked in May and then had this massive drop and a second top, in 2017, it basically had this big parabolic move where towards the second half of 2017, we really saw things go parabolic. So we're basically into almost the second half of this year. We're at the end of May now. It is completely possible that as long as Bitcoin here closes monthly above 69,000, around there, or maybe higher, that we see a continuation of this bull trend towards the end of the year, maybe till November or December, in the same way that we saw it in 2017, which means if that happens, especially for Bitcoin, then we could see explosive parabolic moves for altcoins for the next 3 to 6 months, which means there is massive upside potential from this point onwards. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. So make sure to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram if you haven't done so yet, because I will continue to update regularly, at least once a week. Maybe a little bit more when I have some time. So be sure to subscribe, smash the like button. If you have any questions or you want to ask anything or you want to leave your own thoughts, leave a comment down below. Feel free to share that with us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.